I've always seen my mother as a very kind, loving, and generous person with her patience and compassion to others.
Her positivity and self-confidence.
I want to thank my mother for her stubborn nature.
I admire how she finds immense joy in making us happy.
Her adaptability to change.
On this Mother's Day, I want to thank my mother for her stubborn nature. Now, stubbornness is not a trait that is celebrated, but it was because of my mother's stubborn nature and never say die spirit that she went from a small sleepy village in Kerala to the big wild city of Kolkata. She didn't know anyone, didn't know the language, but with my father, dealt with all the challenges that came her way and created a family that I hope she is proud of. Many people say that I have inherited her stubborn nature, and I'm glad I have, because the same nature helped me deal with a lot of challenges that my husband and I faced when we first moved to Australia 4 years ago. So, Mama, thank you so much for being so stubborn.
Mom knows exactly what every one of us children and grandchildren like, and she makes it a point that she cooks every one of those dishes when we are all there, and she finds so much of happiness in it.
It is her adaptability to change because she never ceases to amaze me with it. She grew up in a small town back in India and she spent almost all her life there. But she's so happy to embrace all the changes that comes her way, whatever it is. A good example is when computers started to be around and everybody was so hesitant to actually accept those. But she was like a visionary then. She could see the future of it and she was like so happy and willing and ready to embrace it. And I think it has been the same with pretty much everything. Let me admit this, she owns the same mobile iPhone unit that I do have, and she sometimes recommends great apps to me.
She grew up in a very small village in Kerala and never went to university. But she made sure that me and my sister would take up professional degrees so that we could be really strong, independent and self-confident women. While growing up, she insisted I take up public speaking and always allowed me to dabble in all my creative interests, which has greatly added to my confidence today. Deep down, she's an extremely positive person. Every time a situation happens in life or a challenging situation comes up, she would face it with so much of positivity and so much of confidence, always looking for practical measures to face it rather than run away or buckle under its pressure. And I think watching her do that has made me the same way.
I believe women, and especially mothers, exude a certain grace, which is very natural to them. The grace that is rooted in their ability to love and care for other people, and to be more kind and forgiving. My mother isn't any different, and it is something that I will always remember and value. She's generous with her love, with her kindness, and generously forgiving, which I needed quite a lot as a child.
Just like most Indian mothers, she did collect a few pieces of unique jewelry while we were growing up so that she could give that to me and my sister during our marriage. And so for me, this probably is the most precious that way. It's a beautiful, elegant and understated piece of jewelry because she knows that's just what I love. And so this is something very precious that I've inherited from my mother.
I learned the basics and the foundations of cooking from my mom by spending time with her in the kitchen, and that helped me during my life as a bachelor when I first came to Sydney, and I still enjoy cooking and I still remember all the things that I learned from my mom.
Just like every other son or daughter, I have inherited a lot of things from her. And one real good example is this sari. Not because it's a very precious or a valuable sari, but this is really precious to me because this was something she had worn such a lot of times and she was ready to throw it out, which is when I told her, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to keep this primarily because this reminds me of my childhood. I still remember her, as my mom, who was so happy and healthy and energetic. She's still happy and energetic, but probably not as healthy. So I would cling on to her. I would look up to her as a role model. So when I have this sari in my wardrobe these days, and when I look at it, I remember my childhood. I am a child again, and a warmth settles in my heart.
I can't show anything that I inherited from her now, but the values that she gave me, or both my parents gave me, is what I inherited. I grew up hearing all the time that everybody is different and unique in their own ways. As much as I found it annoying as a teen, I see the value of it now and what power it holds.
My relationship with faith has always been strenuous, but my mother has always been a pious lady. In terms of material objects today, most of the things that I've inherited from her is back home in India, except this little Ganesha idol that she gifted me when I was very young, in the hopes that nothing bad should ever come my way. Today, my relationship with faith continues to be strenuous, but I feel a deep connect to my faith through this idol, and I always feel that my mother is watching over me through this idol. So Amma, thank you so much for this wonderful gift.
I would like to say thank you, Mom, for allowing me to disagree with you. All those disagreements and discourses that we had, it really helped me grow up as a person. And if you insisted that I always agree with you, that would not have helped my growth, I'm sure. And also, thank you for allowing me to grow up as an independent, strong woman, because I know that you did not actually have the opportunity to be one all the time. So that's why I know that you were really keen for me to be one, and I've tried my best to be honest with you.
I'd like to say thank you for teaching me that it is the small things or the small actions that matter, like a kind word or a gesture, patience and humility.
Mom, I want to tell you how after a busy, stressful day at work, or whenever I have a stressful situation, and if I want to calm down, all I have to do is pick up the phone and give you a call. Just hearing your voice, it just calms me down. I feel like I'm a little boy again, standing there next to you and you looking after me. So in spite of the distance, I still love you so much, and your voice means so much to me, as much as it meant to me when I was a little boy standing next to you.
Mom, for raising me to be a strong, independent and self-confident woman. If not for you, I probably would not have made a decent mother myself today. You are always there, very strongly supportive of any decision that I wanted to take. I know sometimes you have not had that opportunity in your life, but you've always encouraged me to do so. Even when I moved away from a career in science and embarked on a creative journey, you have always been there, silently supportive and very proud of what I've achieved in my life.
On this Mother's Day, I just want to say a huge thank you to you, Amma, for having the courage to love us so unconditionally. And I just hope that I have the courage to love my family just as fiercely as you do. Thank you for everything, Amma.
I want to wish all the mothers a very happy Mother's Day.
As Sushmita Sen once put it, a mother is a person who nurtures life. So happy Mother's Day to not just all the women out there, but to all the nurturers out there.
I want to say I owe you, Amma, and I wish you a very happy Mother's Day.
He's wishing you a very happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.